Welcome to Cigniti Technologies. This is a momentous occasion as every global business today aims to throttle themselves and become a digital first company racing against the market conditions. Software plays a critical role in helping them achieve that. Right? Mark Andreessen famously said, software is eating the world, and Cigniti as an organization has been at the cusp of transforming the outcomes of global business for the last 15 years. So to speak, in the last decade, we've been the global leaders in digital assurance, helping transform outcomes for 70 of global 2000 companies. As a purposeful, long-drawn strategy in terms of our digital ambitions, we've now set our sights on becoming a digital organization, what we call propelling ourselves into digital orbit. On account of that, we are glad to announce an important acquisition that we completed. We've acquired a company called RoundSqr, that is an AI/ML, data engineering and blockchain specialist organization. On that account, I have Srikanth Chakkilam, founder CEO Cigniti Technologies, joining us from the US, and we have Kiran, founder CEO RoundSqr, who's joined forces with Cigniti. Good morning, guys.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Right, I'm doing good, and nice to have you folks here. Young, vibrant, that's the future, that's energetic looking at, and so much of energy around, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Kiran, how does it feel as an entrepreneur? You've been on a rocket ship and joining forces with Cigniti.
Well, I've worked with a large company prior to joining forces with Cigniti. It's exciting to say the least. The last 3.5 years have been a roller coaster ride. We think we have achieved a few things along the journey, learned a lot, dealt with a lot of new age customers. More importantly, we think we've been able to prove the case that we are thinking right in terms of just building a business in the digital services business, side.
Right. Thanks, Srikanth, for joining the show today. And I believe this is going to be a good update that we could pass on to our audience, investors, analysts, and everyone that is looking forward for this. So, as the founder of this organization, what's your vision? Where do you think this acquisition is taking you? What does this actually mean to you? And overall, can you outline the roadmap for Cigniti as such?
Sure, absolutely. So, we have been, as you know, that we have always focused on software quality and digital assurance.
Right.
And for the past few years, we have been focusing on going beyond what we are already doing in the digital assurance space. The next logical step for us would be to become a digital engineering services company. And in that endeavor, I think RoundSqr is one of the first steps that will help us merge into the digital freeway for helping our clients accelerate their digital transformation initiatives. So that definitely fits into our overall vision. We also want to become a $500 million company in the next few years. And today we have a roster of 250 plus clients, many of them in the Fortune 500 space.
Right.
Obviously, if you take the IT spend of these companies, it will be in hundreds of billions of dollars. And we are just tapping a very small percentage of their IT spend. And because of this acquisition, we now have more capabilities in the data space around AI, ML, around blockchain, some of the things that you mentioned. Right. And Kiran, under his able leadership, I think we should definitely be able to zoom ahead and offer services beyond what we are doing today. And Kiran obviously will be leading some of the digital engineering services going forward for the company as well.
Great. Before we further go, right, I just wanted to ensure, so we're not going to make any forward-looking statements in this conversation. This is all about the synergies that we are bringing in as such. So Kiran, can you take us through a little bit of the journey of RoundSqr? What is it that you folks have been doing, and where are you headed with this acquisition that we've announced now?
So RoundSqr is a 3.5-year-old company.
Did you say 3.5 years?
Yeah, that's right.
That's very young.
Yeah. Set up in late 2018, early 2019. We are headquartered out of Hyderabad, offices across the US and Australia. Obviously, we would have liked to expand much more in terms of the geographical footprint, but because of COVID, we sort of held back some of our plans. About 100 people in the company doing work primarily in helping our customers through their digital transformation journey using cutting edge technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, data engineering, blockchain, not to mention the product development work we do across the regions. So about about a $4 million company, doing extremely well, profitable, and Cigniti has always been interested in sort of being associated in some capacity or the other with us, and vice versa too.
Excellent. I mean, that's like, what I would call growth on steroids. So we're pretty excited to have you on board, Kiran. So let me take the conversation a little ahead. So how do you think this acquisition augments your service offerings? I know, as the Global Chief Marketing Officer, when I put Cigniti in front of our analysts and advisors, we've always positioned as our digital engineer, digital assurance, quality engineering. Now we're also talking about digital engineering. What do you think is the extension to your service offering landscape?
So, when we started strategizing about how we want to go ahead, we were always looking at areas closer to what we already do. For example, we are quite good at automation, test automation. Now, if you sort of extend that to automation throughout the IT life cycle,
right?
Because if you want to shift left,
right?
If you're talking about DevOps,
right?
All of these things need a natural source of automation.
Correct.
And data is a big part of that.
Absolutely.
So
when you look at RoundSqr's offerings, data analytics, data engineering, a lot of statistics, AI, ML, all these are natural extensions to what we are doing. And like you mentioned, it is not just us, we've also sort of validated this with analysts, so many analysts, we can name them, Forrester, Nelson Hall, Gartners and so on. So even they have given, we use them as a good sounding board, and we've got positive feedback from this. We've taken this to clients, we've taken this to our advisory board. Everywhere we've got positive feedback, and we've also got inputs that we will want to incorporate into the offerings. And when we take this to our clients, obviously the intent is to not only increase our wallet share, revenue and so on, but also help solve critical problems for our clients when it comes to the data landscape.
Wonderful. So I would reiterate what you just said for the benefit of everyone. Whatever I heard from you, it's about reimagining the digital journeys of our existing customers. So that's the main message that you're intending. So you want to take this to all of our existing large customers. Is that right?
Yes. And just one extension to that is, talk data, all of this has to sit somewhere. Talk cloud.
Absolutely.
And then, we talk about cloud transformation, we talk about cloud security, and all of those things obviously will follow.
Excellent.
So I've heard that the digital transformation opportunity itself is something like 500 billion today. It looks like it's growing at about 20% year on year to about 1.5 trillion.
Yeah, it might have increased as we speak.
You're right. And could increase to about 1.5 trillion over the course of the next 4 or 5 years. So we are going to be tapping into that opportunity through this association. Cigniti is obviously associated with 80 of the Fortune 2000 companies. That gives us a huge opportunity to play in that space. Also think that Cigniti has customers that are very big compared to what we have been dealing with today. And having worked with similar sized customers as part of our previous lives, this gives us an opportunity to play with those kinds of customers.
Just to add that, what are the potential opportunities that you see? You've already been speaking to some of our existing customers in terms of laying the whole roadmap, and I hear this from you called bite-sized digital transformation. Would you talk about that mapping to a couple of use cases, and where do you think is immediately that we are seeing value?
Absolutely. We believe that digital transformation need not be a multi-year, long sort of an engagement with a customer. We believe that digital transformation can happen in small, incremental steps that we can help our customers with. And that's what we've been doing with all of our existing customers. As an example, we work with one of the largest banks in North America. And obviously what they had was a company, one of the tier one company, one of the large consulting companies that came to them and said that they'll have to become a digital bank, and in order to become a digital bank, they'll have to accomplish a set of KPIs, business KPIs. Now, internally, they did not have much of an idea on how that business KPIs or those business KPIs can be translated into initiatives that can help them get to that level.
Right.
So what we did was engaged with them over a course of a few weeks and help them identify specific initiatives that could help them achieve those business KPIs through the digital transformation initiatives that we could help them with. An example of that would be, some of the models, machine learning models that they had. They were not fit for purpose. We were sort of helping them identify the gaps that were there. First, identify the gaps and then help fix those gaps by way of tweaking these models so that they're fit for purpose.
Right. And you call it digital done right. Is that right?
That's right. That's the tagline. We
Wonderful.
call it digital done right.
Okay.
3 levels of services, Sairam. At a very high level, we do consulting, and that's typically the work we do wherein we are understanding the customer's opportunity areas or problem statements, and we ourselves and the customers typically don't know whether there are solutions to these problems. So we sort of engage in a paid proof of concept or something like that along with the customer and help them either validate that there is a solution to that problem or not.
Okay.
The second one is typical what we call as digital engineering or a CTO on demand, where the customer comes to us with a clearly defined problem statement, and we sort of help them through the technology roadmap. What cloud to use, what tool stack to technology tool stack to use, what integration to do in order to accomplish the end task that they would like to accomplish. And then along the way also help them through that, through the work that we have to do in order to get them there.
Right.
And the third one is typically customers come to us and say that they need experts in, say, a specific cloud.
Right.
Snowflake
Right.
is one of the partners that we have, and typically people come to us and ask for experts in those kinds of areas, and we help them with that as well. Full stack developers, machine learning developers, etc.
Hey Srikanth, so one of the things that we did with this acquisition, and in general, right, your company's vision of building an IP-led approach, differentiate the service delivery and also accelerate that. How do you sort of envision that? Can you talk about your existing and what did you see from RoundSqr perspective before making the call?
Sure.
Yeah.
So IP has always been part of our strategy. If you look at our history, one of the acquisitions that we did in 2013, Gallup, they also had, we were interested in Gallup at that point in time because of the IP.
Right.
And they had an IP related to test data migration and
Correct.
so on. Now, we have obviously harnessed it, we've invested into the IP, we now call it Blue Swan,
Right.
which has multiple components,
Right.
Verita, Velocita,
Right.
Cesta, and so on. And we continue to use that to improve the efficiency and outcomes for our clients. And one of the things that really interested me in RoundSqr was also some of the IP that they carry around.
Right.
It's called Zastra. I mean, Kiran can speak about it in depth, but the components of AI and ML and the model ops assurance that they can do through the platform, that really fascinated me.
Excellent. And I believe a natural extension to these all the labs that we have, and you have this grand vision of setting up a digital experience studio. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Kiran, so that brings to me, I was very fascinated as an original believer in AI that all of us are. When I looked at the initial demo of Zastra that you guys showed, I was really thrilled.
Yeah.
Could you take us through a little bit of the thinking behind Zastra and what is that you foresee?
So when we first started executing some of the projects for our customers in the vision space, computer vision space, we saw that there is quite a bit of work in the annotation area, image annotation area.
Right.
As you know, if you have to do any machine learning project, there is a huge amount of annotation work involved when it comes to computer vision related projects. So we sort of said that we can probably accelerate the ability to do vision projects and NLP projects in the future if you were able to build a platform that can do annotation faster. That was the genesis for actually working on this platform called Zastra, which today is mainly an annotation platform helping with vision projects and over time with the work that we can do in the NLP space as well. But we've brought in some new techniques in the platform that can help solve some of the pain points that most of the companies face when dealing with machine learning projects in these spaces, in this space. For example, we've been able to use a specific technique called active learning to be able to annotate lesser and then be able to use the annotated images or data sets to actually do automatic annotation of the future data sets as well. most companies face problems with not being able to find enough data for some of the problems that they solve, typically when it comes to healthcare and stuff like that. What we've been able to now incorporate, or in the process of incorporating, is a technique called synthetic data generation that will help accelerate the ability to generate data sets. We believe that with the usage of Zastra, companies can gain up to 30% when doing projects in the machine learning space. We have also got the, we also think that we can evolve the platform to handle machine learning operations as well. Typically in a production scenario, you would have these models that are put in production, and then when new data comes, you'll have to retrain these models, you have to version them,
so that
track
I presume would also accelerate ML assurance in a
absolutely,
way, right?
Absolutely. I was coming to that last point, which is it would help you through the ML assurance journey as well when using a platform like Zastra. That's the vision that we would all want to work towards.
Very nice. In that sense, it's pretty synergetic.
Yes.
While Blue Swan accelerates a phase of quality engineering and digital assurance, we're also now looking at ML assurance acceleration through Zastra, apart from computer vision and the use cases based on active learning.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. And your vision to file patents as an organization, is that still on, and where do you see it's going?
Yes, yes, absolutely. We continue to file patents.
Right.
And I think Zastra has already
work in progress
patent, and we're also working on an idea in the healthcare space that is also ready to get filed for a patent.
Excellent. That's brilliant, guys, and it is much more synergetic, not just from a service delivery but also from an IP complementing each other. Goes well for Cigniti and obviously most importantly for our customers. Srikanth, this has been really refreshing and very informative. Just to end this whole conversation from your side, right? We've been global leaders in quality engineering and digital assurance. That's a positioning that we've done over the last 10 years. And now with this foray, how do you think this is going to strengthen as we move forward? What's your overall approach to this the next 15, 18 months, and when is this getting kicked off officially?
So, quality engineering, digital assurance,
Right.
digital engineering,
Right.
digital transformation.
Digital transformation.
That is the path.
Okay.
And we have already kickstarted this process. In fact, Kiran and team are already involved with some of our very, very important clients, both in the US and elsewhere.
Right.
And we have started the integration process. Come July 1st, it's all one team that will approach the clients, and we will be in a full-blown quality-led digital transformation approach. We'll be going ahead with a quality-led digital transformation approach for all our clients.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. So Kiran, coming back, would you just, to end this whole conversation before we close it, would you double click on a little bit of your tech chops? Because this is a tech play at the end of it, and you have invested and built a substantially strong workforce, digital enthusiasts and natives that I call, but maybe it will be better if you speak about that.
Absolutely. I may not cover everything exhaustively, but if you look at the work we do on the data side, we work with almost all the data platforms that are out there. Snowflake, Databricks, Amazon's Redshift, Azure has infrastructure, Azure SQL, plus all the other kinds of new technologies that are coming up. Google itself is becoming increasingly prominent in that space. Right. So all of the tools that are available on the Google Cloud platform are things that we deal with. In fact, we've got quite a few people that have been certified across these different areas as well. When it comes to work in the visualization space, we work with Tableau, Qlik, Power BI, Looker. These are some of the tools that we use. On the ML side, most of the work that we do is using Python, but we use frameworks like TensorFlow, etc.
Right.
But we have also got a few people that have expertise on SAS and R as well. When it comes to other things that typical product development work, we typically use React, Angular, React Native. Again, the backend can be Node, .NET, Java, typical technologies that companies use to sort of build some sort of an interface for customers, of our customers to be interacting with their brands.
Absolutely, that's music to our ears in the digital talent war that all of us are fighting. So one single word from you, how does it feel now?
No, it's exciting. I think it's been a roller coaster ride, like I said. We are very excited to be part of the current leadership, Srikanth and MD here, and it feels like a family already.
Absolutely.
We seem to have got along extremely well to the point that we think we are part of one big family. I'm very excited to go after some of the large logos that Cigniti has and create a dent in the universe.
Oh, true. Srikanth, one single word.
I just have to mirror his feelings.
All right.
I'm just bullish about the overall prospect of what we can do for our clients and consequently for employees, investors, and all the stakeholders. So really look forward, and I really want to also possibly do another such session to update the progress that we made through the acquisition and through Cigniti's digital engineering services initiatives as well.
So this has been fantastic, and as the brand custodian of Cigniti, on behalf of everyone here, we believe digital assurance and digital engineering together are the bedrock of digital transformation, and that translates to our singular notion of helping customers go digital first. What I would proclaim to say, go digital and go beyond. Thanks for tuning in.
Go digital, go beyond.
Go digital, go beyond.